Alright, hi everyone. Okay, welcome back to this video on PSLE 2017 Booklet B. Okay, Booklet B question number 39. And this question today will be about energy. So let's look at this question together. Now, first off, the question says that there is a wooden block and a plastic plank. And what happens is that the aim is to compare how fast the wooden block can move on different planks. Okay, so now what is the change variable? Can you see over here is that they will say that a shorter plank, okay, made of the same material. So the change variable is therefore the length of the plank. Okay, are you able to see that? What about the measured variable? Now the measured variable will be the time taken. Okay, the measured variable will be the time taken that the wooden block takes to travel down from the top all the way to the bottom. Okay, now once you're able to see this, that means to say that the block from here, they are going to travel down over here. Now we must first revise that if the block is raised at a height, you must definitely understand that there is gravitational force. Okay, there's gravitational force, there's gravity, right? Okay, now when the block starts to move down, you will realize that it starts to contact the surface plastic plank, right? So hence you must realize that since the direction of motion is in this direction, the friction will be in this direction. There will be friction acting against the wooden block. Okay, now let's look at this. Now they say that will the block take a longer, shorter, or the same time to reach the bottom of the plank? So now what is the change variable? It is now going to use a shorter plank. Now a shorter plank means that they are going to move a shorter distance, right? So hence we say that there is going to be a shorter distance move. Okay, and with a shorter distance move, we would expect that to have less friction. Okay, since got a shorter distance, there is less friction, right? So now the question says, explain your answer in terms of energy changes. Okay, so the question says, explain your answer in terms of energy changes. That means to say we cannot bring in the concept of forces in our answer. We only have to answer them in terms of energy. All right, so let's look at this together. First off, since there is less friction, hence we understand that they will take a shorter time. Okay, shorter time to reach the bottom of the plank. All right, then you must say in terms of energy changes, right? So gravitational potential energy, okay, of the wooden block is converted, okay, to less heat and sound energy, okay, and more kinetic energy, okay. Hence it will take a shorter time, all right, to reach the bottom. Okay, so for the first part, you just need to be able to understand that since the wooden block is now traveling a shorter distance, for example, the wooden block travels a shorter distance on a new plank, then we will say that since there's less friction, we say that there's less heat and sound energy being converted, and hence there is more kinetic energy, right? So it makes sense for the block to start moving faster, and hence it will take a shorter time to reach the bottom. Okay, now let's look at the second part. Now they say that the results of the plank is given below, and you realize that the distance that they travel is increases all the way until 2 seconds, where the distance traveled is 80 cm. Okay, now that means to say that 80 cm is the length of the wooden plank, right? Length of the wooden plank, because the block will travel the entire length until it reaches the bottom, it will stop, right? So the question says that, now important, they repeat the experiment with the wooden plank of the same length. So you must understand that since the length is the same, then you can expect the fact that only the change variable, which will be what? Which will be the type of the plank, right? Which is in this case now we are not using a plastic plank, we are now using a wooden plank. Okay, now state which graph shows the correct result of the wooden plank. Now they already told us this, wooden plank will move. Okay, the block will move down more slowly. Since there is more slowly, that means to say that they take a longer time, okay, to travel same distance. Okay, travel 80 cm. Okay, so let's look at the graph. Which one should make sense? Obviously, cannot be less than 2 seconds, right? Can you see this is less than 2 seconds? This is less than 2 seconds. Definitely cannot. Reason why? Because since they take longer time to travel 80 cm, it will be definitely more than 2.0 seconds. So the logical answer would be graph M, right? Because as you can see, it took a longer time to travel distance of 80 cm, so hence answer is M. Now, besides the height h and the length of the blank, the question now is to state two other variables that must be kept constant for the comparison. Okay, so they say beside the height h, the focus must be here. The focus must be here. Beside the height h and length of the blank, we still need to find another constant variables. Okay, so what do we need? What do we need as a constant variable? Okay, we can say the force applied. Okay, to release the block. Okay, same starting position. Same starting position of the block. Okay, so hence you are able to see that, okay, we are keeping constant variables, right? So the constant variables in this case is going to be what? Is going to be the type, the force applied to release the block and the same starting position. So this must be kept constant.